questions 11 through 20 on the 2009 Grade 8 Gauss Math Contest. The perimeter of ABC is 32, angle ABC equals angle ACB, and BC is 12, the length of AB is. This angle is the same as that angle, and therefore that side will be the same as that side, making that an isosceles triangle. The perimeter is 32, so if this side, let's say, is y, and that side is y, that means that 2y plus 12 is equal to 32. So solving for y, we get 2y is equal to 20, and therefore y is equal to 10. And AB is equal to y, so therefore AB is equal to 10. So number 11, the answer is C. A temperature measured in Celsius can be converted to degrees Fahrenheit using the formula F is equal to 9 over 5C plus 32. If the temperature is 10 degrees Celsius, what is the temperature in Fahrenheit? So I can actually do this in my head, and the reason is I grew up in Canada, but then when I was about 30 years of age, I moved to the United States. And in Canada, they talk in terms of Celsius. Then I go to the US and they start talking in terms of Fahrenheit. They say, oh, it's going to be 50 outside. And I thought to myself, 50 Celsius? That's impossible. And then I realized, no, they're talking about Fahrenheit. So I got very good at converting Celsius to Fahrenheit. And they're giving us a little formula, which is great. I can actually do this in my head. Not that that's impressive, but just because I moved from one country to another. So they're giving you 10 degrees Celsius, right? So you just substitute 10 for C. So 10 Celsius. This looks like 10 divided by 5 is 2. 2 times 9 is 18. And 18 plus 32 is 50. So if it's 10 Celsius outside, that is equivalent to 50 Fahrenheit. So number 12, the answer is D. In how many ways can 101 be expressed as the sum of two integers, both greater than 0, with the second integer greater than the first? So we will let this be the following equation. 101 is equal to x plus y. And the condition is that x is greater than 0, y is greater than 0, and y is greater than x. So you fiddle around with this. I think the closest they can be is 50 and 51, right? And then that's it in terms of as close as they can be. And then after that, they start separating. So it becomes 49 plus 52, 48 plus 53, and then so on, right? Dot, 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 all the way down to the very end, which is the smallest value for x is 1, right? Because it has to be greater than 0. And they're both integers, right? So 100 and 101. Oh, sorry, 101. That would be the last one. So this is pretty straightforward. It's all the way from 1 to 50. So there's 50 of these scenarios. So number 13, the answer is A. Vanessa set a school record for most points in a single basketball game when her team scored 48 points. The other 6 players on her team averaged 3.5 points each. How many points did Vanessa score to set her school record? All right, so we got 48 minus 6 times 3.5. That would give me just Vanessa's score. And that is 48 minus 21, which is equal to 27. So Vanessa scored 27 points, and therefore number 14, the answer is E. In rectangle PQRS, PQ is 12, PR is 13. What is the area of PQRS? Well, I use Pythagoras to figure out QR. QR squared plus 12 squared is 13 squared. So that means 169 minus 144 is QR squared. And therefore QR is equal to 5, because that's going to be the square root of 25. So here's 5. And then the area is just length times width. Length is 12, width we just calculated, it's 5. And 12 times 5 is 60. So number 15, the answer is B. When it is 3 p.m. in Victoria, it is 6 p.m. in Timmins. Stefan's flight departed at 6 a.m. local Victoria time and arrived at 4 p.m. local Timmins time. How long in hours was his flight? All right, Victoria is a city in British Columbia, which is a province in the western part of Canada, and notice it's spelled with a U, not an O. And Timmins is a place in Ontario, which is where I am from. I'm not from Timmins, I'm from Ontario. And Timmins, the claim to fame is that's where singer Shania Twain is from. I'm sure many of you have heard her music, and she's a great singer. So we have this question that involves 3 p.m. in Victoria, and they're saying that it will be 6 p.m. in Timmins. So that basically means that Timmins is 3 hours ahead in terms of its time zone. And then Stefan, takes off at 6 a.m. on an airplane and goes to Timmins, and he gets there at 4 p.m. Timmins time. But when it's 4 p.m. Timmins time, Timmins is 3 hours ahead, so it's actually 1 p.m. Victoria time. So we have to just look at 6 a.m. to 1 p.m. Victoria time, and if you do, that's 7 hours. So therefore, number 16, the answer is D. A jar contains quarters, nickels, and pennies. The values of the quarters is $10, the values of the nickels is $10, and the values of the pennies is $10. If Judith randomly chose one coin from the jar, what is the probability that it is a quarter? So we have quarters, nickels, and pennies. Those are the only coins. And $10, but I'm going to convert that to cents. So 1,000 cents. And 1,000 cents here and 1,000 cents here. Now to figure out the number of quarters, we divide 1,000 by the value of each quarter, which is 25, and that gives me 40. So I have 40 quarters. And the same scenario for nickels, I divide 1,000 cents by 5, which is the value of a nickel, and that gives me 200. And then finally, 1,000 cents divided by 1, which is the value of a penny, gives me 1,000 pennies. So Judith is picking one coin, and they want to figure out what is the probability that it's going to be a quarter. Well, if you pick one coin, the probability that it's a quarter is 40, which is the numerator. That's how many quarters, over the total number of coins, which would be 1,000 plus 200 plus 40. And therefore that is 40 over 1240. In lowest terms, if you divide top and bottom by 40, you'll get 1 over 31. So number 17, the answer is B. In a class of 40 students, 17 said they like apple pie, 15 said they like chocolate cake, and 12 said that they did not like either. How many students in the class liked both? So we make a little diagram here, and hopefully this will help us. So first and foremost, we want to designate these. We'll call this apple, both for B, and C for cake. It works out ABC. I think that's just a coincidence. So first thing that we know is that of the 40 students, 12 did not like either. So 12 are not going to be part of ABC. So that means only 28 will be part of ABC. So that basically means that A plus B plus C is 28. Then 18 liked apple pie. So this first circle is sort of the apple pie circle. And the second circle is the chocolate cake circle. So the first circle is apple pie. So that means that A plus B is equal to 18. So if I substitute that into the first equation, I get 18 plus C is equal to 28, and therefore C is 10. So there we go, C is 10. And then in a very similar way, we look at the fact that 15 like chocolate cake. So if 15 like chocolate cake, that means these guys total 15. So that means B plus C is equal to 15. And therefore, we can substitute that back into there. So that means A plus B plus C, which is A plus 15, is 28. And therefore, A is 13. So that's 13. And then finally, we can put all those guys into here. And that means that 13 plus B plus 10 is 28. And therefore, B is equal to, let's see here, 18 minus 13, 5. And B represents both, right? So 18, the number 18, the question, the answer is 5, which is choice E. In the addition shown, P, Q, and R each represent a single digit, and the sum is 2009. The value of P plus Q plus R is. All right, we have to do a little bit of fiddling around here, but hopefully not too much. So the first thing I notice is that if we have these letters, P plus Q has to equal 9, but there's a lot of different possibilities, right? 1 plus A, 2 plus 7, so I don't want to go through all those. But this is a little bit more helpful. Q plus Q equals 0. Well, Q plus Q equals 0, so that could mean that Q is 0, right? But also, because this is an addition question, and you're doing it sort of in that old system that you learned in elementary school, early elementary school, 5 plus 5 would also equal, not 0, it equals 10, but the 0 would go here, and then you'd carry the 1. You see what I mean? So I've got a choice to make. Do I use Q equals 0 or Q equals 5? Well, I don't know. So let's start with Q equals 0 and see what I get. If Q is equal to 0, then it will be P0, I'll put a line through it, P, and then R0, 0, 0. So that means P plus 0 has to equal 9, right? So that means P is equal to 9. And then 0 and 0, okay, that's great. But then this one, 9 is equal to P plus 0 would be giving me a 9, but here there's a 0. So that doesn't work. Okay, no problem. That's what trial and error is all about. So that means that Q does not equal 0. Q must equal 5. Well, let's see. So my Q is going to be 5, so it's going to be P, 5, and P, R, 5, 5, 5, plus. So P plus 5 is equal to 9, so that means P must be equal to 4, right? This one, 5 plus 5, 0, carry the 1. 1 plus 4 plus 5 is 10, carry the 1. And 1 plus R is equal to 2, so that means R must be equal to 1. And they want you to find P plus Q plus R. Well, P plus Q plus R is 1 plus 4 plus 5, which is 10. So number 19, the answer is B. A piece of string fits exactly once around the perimeter of a square whose area is 144. Rounded to the nearest whole number, the area of the largest circle that can be formed with the piece of string is. So we've got some square, and they say that the area is 144. So since the area of a square is x squared, where x is the side, if that's 144, then that means x is equal to 12. So this is 12, this is 12, all the way around. Now they say that the string fits exactly once around. So the string is equivalent to the perimeter of the square, which is 12 times 4, which is 48. Then they say you have a circle that's formed from this string. So that means that the circle has a circumference of 48. So the circumference of this circle is 48, the same length as the string. And the circumference of a circle is given as pi times diameter, or pi times 2 times the radius. So this allows me to figure out the radius. So the radius is going to be 48 over 2 pi, or 24 over pi. And now they want you to figure out the area. So area of a circle is pi r squared, which is pi. R is 24 over pi, all squared. So that's going to be pi times 24 squared over pi squared. And then that's just 24 squared over pi. And if you get out a calculator and do the math in terms of like an actual numerical value, you get approximately 183, because they want you to just round it to the nearest whole number. So number 20, the answer is E.